Have you seen those stunning viral floral crochet blankets that look like they belong in a fairy garden? I love them until I realized I don't have the time, wrist strength, or the yarn mountain needed to make one. So I thought, what if we shrunk the beauty of that blanket into something actually doable? Like a mini floral coaster, same vibe, less commitment. Today we're crocheting a spring-inspired floral coaster, the mini-me version of that gigantic blanket. We'll need 3 yarn colors, one for the main body of the coaster. This would be your blanket base, green for the leaves on the edges, and a floral color. Mine's red because I went with roses, but you can pick the color that your heart desires. You'll also need a 3 mm crochet hook, scissors, a tapestry needle, and don't worry if sewing is not your thing, I'll show you 2 ways to attach the flowers. We are starting with the classic magic ring. Wrap your yarn around your index finger to form an X, leaving a short tail. Hold that X in place with your thumb. Now insert your hook under the first part of the X and grab the second strand. Pull it through to form a loop. Chain 1 to secure and then chain again to give height. These do not count as stitches, okay? Now we're doing 12 double crochets into this ring. To make a double crochet, yarn over, insert into the ring, pull up a loop. Now we have 3 loops on the hook. Yarn over, pull through 2 loops, and we have 2 loops remaining on the hook. Yarn over, pull through the final 2, and you have 1 double crochet. Repeat until you have 12. Got ideas for other flowers? Drop them in the comments. If this video hits 100 likes, I will turn one of your suggestions into the next coaster in this spring series, okay? Count them. Always count them. These 12 stitches will bloom into the structure of our coaster. To close the round, ignore those first 2 chains and slip stitch into the first real double crochet right into that V shape at the top. Now in round 2, we are going to establish the group formation. Chain 2, you always do this at the start of every single round from here on out. Now we're working 2 double crochets into the same stitch. This is called an increase. After every increase, chain 1. That chain will separate the groups, and trust me, it will come in clutch later. Repeat, increase, chain 1, next stitch, increase, chain 1, etc. until you complete 12 increases separated by chains. Then slip stitch into the first stitch. Again, ignore those starting chains, okay? Take a breath. See those little clusters or groups? That's your crochet flower coaster blooming. In this round, we're going to make 1 double crochet, then an increase, followed by a chain. If you've ever made an amigurumi circle, head, or body, this is familiar. Same idea, but with double crochets instead of single crochets. So again, double crochet, 2 crochets in the next stitch, aka an increase, chain 1. Repeat this pattern 12 times. When you reach the end, finish with a chain and slip stitch into the first double crochet, not the chain, okay? Here is the most important tip in this entire project. Ignore those beginning chains every single round. Do not let them trick you. They're imposters and will mess up your stitch count if you treat them like real stitches, okay? Now we flip the script. Start with an increase. Then follow with 2 double crochets and a chain. Alternating the start of your group helps round out the shape. Otherwise, you get that wonky, jagged circle we've all seen before. Here is an example of that circle, but this made in single crochets, and you can see how the circle is angled. It's not like rounded. However, when we have the increases alternating, it's beautifully rounded. Each group in this round should look like this: 2 double crochets as an increase, 1 double crochet, another double crochet, chain 1. Once we reach the end of the round, we're going to chain 1 and stitch into the first stitch of this round. Again, ignore the 2 chains we made earlier. By now, you should see 12 beautiful groups clearly separated by chains. It's starting to look like a mini crochet flower blanket, right? Let's rewind for a second and see what we've built. Round 1, 12 double crochets in a magic ring. This is your foundation. Round 2, 12 increases, each separated by a chain. This starts your group structure. Round 3, 1 double crochet plus an increase plus a chain. Begins the pattern growth. Round 4, we flip the structure. Start with an increase this time, then 2 double crochets and a chain. This rounds the shape and strengthens pattern. Okay, here's where things get interesting. We're not just increasing, we're alternating the placement of the increased stitches. That is the twist. Round 4, we start the group with an increase. So guess what we're doing in round 5? Yeah, I'm waiting. You guessed. That's right. We end the group with 1, okay? Let's break it down. In round 5, your rhythm is 3 double crochets, then an increase, chain 1. Again, 3 double crochets, increase, chain 1. And repeat that around all 12 groups. Now, here is a brain-saving tip. The stitch count goes up every round. So, in round 5, we're working with 3 stitches. Round 6 has 4, and round 7, yeah? Yep, 5 double crochets between increases. At the end of each round, slip stitch into the first double crochet, not the chain. How do we tell them apart? The double crochet has a little wrap in the center. The chain does not. That tiny detail, it saves lives. Well, I mean crochet lives. Round 7, the final round for this color, we're doing 5 double crochets and ending the group with an increase in a chain 1. And yes, repeat it around all 12 groups. And hey, if you're turning this into a blanket, keep going. Add as many rows as you like. Just alternating those increases and watch your coaster bloom bigger and bigger. At round 5, we'll start again with chaining 2, but this time we are alternating. So we're starting with making 3 double crochets. And then an increase at the end of this group. Chain 1, and we repeat that 12 more times. And it's really important to know that the chain 1 is to be skipped. Each time you're making chain 1, you are replacing the chain 1 in the previous rounds, okay? Once we reach the end of the round, we are gonna slip stitch again into the first stitch. And every round I will repeat this. So you get bored, I know, but ignore those chains, okay? Round 6, we will now start with, okay, I can hear you. That's right. We're starting with an increase. And then we'll follow that with 4 double crochets and a chain 1. So we alternated the placement of the increase. And we'll repeat that 12 more times. Once we reach the end of the round, we'll slip stitch again into the V shape of the first stitch. Round 7, the final round for this color. We're doing 5 double crochets. And ending the group with an increase and a chain 1. And yes, repeat it around all 12 groups. By the end, we have got this beautifully rounded shape, no weird angles, just perfect round. Now the finishing touch, a little invisible fasten of magic. I'm not even sure I'm doing this right, but here is my way. Skip one stitch. Insert your needle into the front loop of the next one. Flip your work. Go back into the back loop of the one you skipped. Pull tight, really tight, like I just finished this project tight. Okay? Then weave in the tail between stitches to hide it completely. If you've got questions, drop them in the comments. I am always down to help you troubleshoot. And we'll do the same thing for the magic ring thread at the beginning. We'll thread it in our tapestry needle and then go under the stitches to hide it and then snip the excess half. Now the green. Here is where it gets really satisfying. We're at round 7, right? So each group has 7 double crochets. Attach the green thread at the 4th double crochet of any group. Why? Because that's where your leaf will sit perfectly. Trust me, it shapes the trickiest row, this one, just right. Okay, now make a loop with your yarn, pull it through the 4th stitch of any group and chain 1. Secure it by laying the thread parallel to the stitch line like so and make your first single crochet over it to hide it. This is the only thing that we'll do in this row. Later in the next one, we're going to be hiding it perfectly. Then chain 2, skip 2 stitches, single crochet into the 3rd one. And repeat all the way around. Heads up, you will get tricked near the start of this round. When you reach the beginning again, remember those sneaky chains? They will look like double crochets. Do not fall for it. Count smart. Be ruthless. Okay, and this is really important. Chain spaces count as stitches at this point, okay? To reach the end of this round, again, slip stitch into the first stitch and chain 1. Now chain 1, we're doing another round of single crochets. This part honestly soothing, feels like autopilot. At the beginning, here's how we will hide the tail that we begin with, okay? I'll lay it parallel to the stitch line and then I'll crochet over it. Super simple, but if that's not your vibe, just weave it in later with a tapestry needle. For this round, single crochet into every previous single crochet, and where we made chain spaces, add 2 single crochets. So 1 single crochet, 2 in the chain, 1 single, and repeat. You've got this. Again, slip stitch into the first stitch and chain 1. Okay, this is the wild part. We're making the trickiest, most intimidating row in this whole project. But remember how we added that green thread at the 4th stitch? That move is about to save us so much pain and guessing work. Here we go. Chain 1, then single crochet into the first stitch. Now chain 3. Okay, go down to the 7th row and count from the corresponding double crochet 3 stitches away. Insert your hook from the bottom up into the base of that 3rd stitch. Single crochet right there. That's your leaf base. Turn your work. You'll see your chain 3 space. Into that space, make single crochet, a half double crochet, 3 double crochets, a half double crochet, and a single crochet. That's a half of the leaf. Now chain 3 again. Next, count 7 stitches away from your last insert point. Okay, and this is really important. Chain spaces count as stitches at this point, okay? This time, go from the top down and make a single crochet. Turn your work and repeat the same leaf stitch sequence. Single crochet, half double crochet, 3 double crochets, half double crochet, and a single crochet. 2 parts down, 1 leaf done. We are rolling, guys. Now at the original stitch line, 8 single crochets in a row. Important. This is really important. The stitch that looks like it's already worked, skip it. If there is a thread sitting in it, it's done. Don't let your mind mess with you, okay? Just continue working in the next one. Eight clean singles. Then repeat the leaf sequence. Chain 3. And then count 3 stitches on the 7th row away from the corresponding double crochet of your last single crochet on the original line. Insert from the bottom up, build the first half of the leaf with a single crochet, half double, 3 doubles, a half double again, and a single crochet. Now count 7 double crochets on the 7th row and insert from the top down. Build the next part of the leaf, following the same sequence. Now back to 8 single crochets and repeat 12 more times. Okay, because I'm extra, I'm giving you this quick reminder. Do you remember this chain 2 that we made at the beginning of each row? Do not count it as a stitch, okay? It looks like one, it's not. Just ignore it, ignore its existence, okay? And count the stitches before and after it. Now, you should notice the pattern here. Every first part of the leaf lies perfectly between the 2 double crochets of the increase in the 7th round. And the second part lies beautifully in the chain space. That is the beauty of adding our green yarn at the 4th stitch earlier. It pays back gold, if you ask me. As you go, you'll see the leaves forming perfectly between the increases and chains. And when we hit the final leaf, it's the same routine. Bid it up and breathe. And actually, this really, when you notice this pattern, it's really helpful when you reach these chains that we talked about earlier, because you know that your stitch should lie at the increase and at the chain. If you notice anything different, just check. You might hit that point. Want to find flowers, different coasters? I'm all ears. Drop it in the comments. Once your last leaf is in place, get your final 8 single crochets. Now, slip stitch into the first stitch of this row, and just like that, you made it. Seriously, this was a beast of a round. You stayed with it, you problem solved, you crushed it, and I am so proud of you. Now let's fasten off. Cut about 20 centimeters of thread, and following the same steps that we did earlier at the end of round 7, we will make an invisible fasten off at the end of this round. And like before, weave it gently under the stitches, go through 5 or 6, then loop back the other way. Your coaster, it's done and it looks stunning. Take a second, admire it. That was not easy and you did it. You're officially a crochet leaf ninja, okay? Now snip the end, stretch the stitches to tuck it in. And also, do not forget to trim the excess of the beginning thread that we joined the round with, okay? Tug it a little bit and then cut it with your scissors. Alright, so the wild idea about this little coaster is that it can bloom. Like actually bloom with roses, 12 of them to be exact. Each one perfectly colored, bold red, soft to the touch. But here's the thing, it's not fast, but it's quite easy. Let's talk 2 methods. First, attaching it directly to the coaster. Skip the whole sewing on thing later. Start by slipping your red thread into the last single crochet of the first part of the leaf and into the corresponding single crochet in the coaster base. It pins the leaf and anchors your rows, okay? Now the magic begins. Leave about 10 centimeters of tail. Chain 12, skip the first 2 chains. Then in the third chain, we go big, 3 double crochets. and again, and again, and again. By the end, you will have 30 double crochets packed like a little delicious cinnamon roll of yarn. That's your rows. Chain 3, slip stitch into the last stitch and pause. This is the sculpting phase. Twist the spiral in on itself. Go inside those layers and hold them in place with a slip stitch. This part, it's a little tricky. And the first time I tried it resulted in a disaster. But I kept trying until I get it. And once you get it, it clicks. If I can do it after 6 failed attempts, you can too. Keep the slip stitch loose enough to preserve the shape. Cut about 20 to 25 centimeters of thread. Thread your needle. We're locking this in. Go back through both layers, leaf and base, exactly where you started. Actually, you don't have to use the needle. The crochet hook would do the same trick. Just insert it and pull up your thread. Make 2 knots at the back and then tight, but not tense. Now through the center of the rows, pull the 2 threads. Wiggle the needle if you have to, just get it nestled right in there, okay? Because my thread is already threaded in my needle, I pulled it out with my needle. However, if you want, you can insert your crochet hook and then pull both threads out, same way as we did to the shorter one here. Then another 2 knots. Clip the excess carefully, let the ends hide inside the bloom. Now, if you're more into pre-made flowers, here is method 2. Starting by leaving about 10 centimeters of beginning thread, and then we'll make a slip knot. To make a slip knot, we are going to make a little loop and then twist it like an X shape and hold it down with your thumb like so, and then pull up a loop and tighten. You have a slip knot. Next, we're basically repeating the same thing. Start by making a chain of 12, and then in the third chain, make 3 double crochets and repeat until you have another delicious cinnamon roll of yarn. Skip 2, then triple up your double crochets in every chain. Lastly, chain 3, slip stitch to the last chain. Then cut another 20 to 25 centimeter tail. Now wrap the spiral into rows, this time not attached, okay? Thread your needle, go through the entire flower from one side to the other. Keep it loose enough to preserve the shape. Don't crush the rows, just guide it. Now with your crochet hook, slip those threads into the last stitch of the first part of the leaf and the corresponding single crochet on the original line, and then secure with tight knots at the back. Here is how you can pull both threads with your crochet hook. This is really efficient if you want to make it when you are following the first method, okay? Do double knots again, and then trim, clean, and you're done. Now, repeat that 12 more times. Yeah, 12 for one coaster. Imagine a full blanket. We're talking 20, 30, maybe more. It's a wrist workout, but to be honest, it's worth every stitch. And listen, if you're one of those brave souls doing the full viral crochet rose blanket, you are a mastermind. And I do respect you. You can wrap it like a bouquet, use it under your favorite mug, or just admire it for what it is, a beautiful meditative challenge. And you did it. I'm so proud of you. That was no joke. Drop your questions below. And with that, all that is left to say is that until next time, I'll see you beautiful, gorgeous, creative, amazing face next time. Bye.